Hi, my name is Ella, and I am here talking with the amazing Asha Gold. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So I'm really excited to talk to you today because I'm a really big fan of your music, and everything that you've released in the last like couple of years. So just as a little introduction, if anyone were to ask you what kind of music you make, how would you describe it in your own words?
I guess I would describe it as R&B leaning pop. I feel like I'm pulling kind of melodies and percussion and drum sounds from like that classic 90s R&B golden era, but then still with a very much a lot of pop influence in there. I love good pop and clever songwriting. I love kind of like wordplay and just having fun with the lyrics. But I also love a bit of kind of like wacky chords and jazz influence, and then lots of weird percussion sounds and samples that I feel like creates this mishmash of a sound that doesn't necessarily just fit into one genre, but that's what I would say probably.
Amazing. Yeah, I really feel that from your music. Going right back to your first release in 2019, which was Too Good. Um, I feel like you really straight away established that R&B sound, that like very smooth influence, like that is very clear. What are your main influences musically, or who are your main influences?
I think again, I really listen to like a wide range of artists and genres because I feel like if you listen to too much of the same, you might start like sounding a little bit similar to one person. So I try to like keep it really varied, but big inspirations for me are Beyonce, um, Kanye West, the music, not the person necessarily.
Yeah.
But some of his, some of his older albums are just like artwork for me. Rosalia, I love, and I studied like Spanish and Latin American studies at uni, so I've got a kind of big passion for all things Latin American, so and Spanish. So I love listening to kind of music that's in other languages as well. Um, but yeah, early influence is definitely just listening to Capital FM on the way to school. And those big kind of Kelly Clarkson, Beyonce, big like belting female anthems. So I feel like that just always made me want to sing.
Yeah, amazing. So I was just about to ask you actually, what was the moment when, like, right before you released that first single, what was the journey leading up to that where you were like, I'm gonna make music, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna put this out?
Um, I guess my musical journey kind of started in school, but I was doing more classical music. So I was classically trained in piano and I did classical singing and then musical theatre singing. And I did a lot of like percussion and drums in orchestras and jazz bands. So I was doing music for like 15 years of my life and devoting hours and hours to it, but I was never actually like doing pop music or writing songs at that point. And then when I left school, I was kind of like, right, I really want to give myself the opportunity to see if I can kind of make a career out of pop music and the songs that actually I love listening to as much as I have a massive appreciation for classical music and that world. Um, I think when I was like 18, 19, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to start self-producing, start sending demos around, trying to kind of network and get my name out there. And then I just thought like the only way I can really grow is to put music out, see what the response is, do a next song that's better, and just kind of keep going that way. So
Yeah.
you just got to take the leap of faith, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. That's really cool. I actually study classical music as well, and I feel like there you meet so many musicians who have been they have like such a deep appreciation for classical music, even if that's not like what they really want to do, but it's like really informed their lives as musicians and whatever path that they go.
Yeah, for sure. And I think to to achieve like grade A in an instrument or multiple instruments, you have to have so much dedication and
Yeah.
discipline and self motivation and attention to detail. So I think like doing playing instruments growing up and sitting in those exam rooms and being under the pump and having to play these three songs like to the best of your ability, like has taught me so much just in terms of like life skills.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I'm really happy that I have that background, and it gives me a lot of confidence in also in a male dominated industry where often I'm in a room with male producers. It gives me confidence to be like, actually, no, I understand what's going on musically here, and I can kind of speak up, and I can um, kind of throw my hat in the ring, so to speak. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. That's interesting you brought that up. I feel like a lot of women nowadays and women artists, non-binary artists are talking about how annoying it is, how male dominated it really is. You said that that has been a challenge for you, and do you feel like you're how do you sorry, I'm trying to figure out a way to say it. How do you feel like you've overcome that yourself, apart from like your just self-confidence? Have there been any moments where you were like, I've shown you kind of thing?
Yeah, I get you. I think not particular moments, but I think it just helps having kind of having role models and people who that kind of walk into a room with purpose and with confidence. And I mean, like imposter syndrome is something that we all experience in whatever we do, and it's kind of just brushing that to one side and reminding yourself that you're there for a reason and by your own merits, and there's always going to be somebody above you with more streams or more followers or whatever, but like you are where you are right now, and to somebody else you're an inspiration, or you're their favorite song, or you're their favorite artist. So for me it's trying to remember that, and that was really hard when I was at uni because I was also a student, and I think I felt like a bit of a fraud almost. I was kind of like, no, I'm a student doing music on the side, I can't really call myself like a fully fledged musician. So it's actually been really nice the last couple of months to just feel like, no, hang on, I'm doing this full time. And when people ask me what I do, instead of being like, oh, I'm a student and I write and release songs, it's like, I'm an artist, and this artist project is, my priority right now.
Definitely. Like 2019 feels like a lifetime ago, literally so long ago. How do you feel like your style has developed since then? Obviously, a lot has happened in that time, but with you and your musical journey, what are the big differences since your first release?
Um, I think we think of songwriting sometimes as like this like big emotional outpouring, and you have to be like going through trauma or this or that to like write the best songs. But it's kind of like, in my eyes, it is a skill like any other skill, and it's a muscle that you have to train. So I think like the more you write songs, the better you become at songwriting. So I think my writing has just improved by nature of actually doing a lot of it and doing more of it.
Mhm.
um, I think I've maybe become more daring with my lyricism and with my kind of vocal deliveries, and I'm kind of writing melodies that are somewhere in my vocal range that I might not have ventured before, which is really fun. And then I think I'm just kind of honing in on my sounds. Like, I think it took me a long time to actually think about what I wanted to sound like and what my kind of signature was going to be. Um, so I just feel like I'm finding that, but it's ever evolving and changing, and I think it will continue to be that way probably for another couple projects. It will just be me almost growing and evolving out loud, and I'm not scared of people kind of hearing that.
Yeah, yeah, I think like a lot of artists do suffer with a perfectionism, and you've just got to do it regardless and put stuff out there. I really get an aura of confidence from a lot of your songs. Is that intentional or is it just
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like One of a Kind for example is all about self-confidence and not needing anybody else to just go and have a great time. And sometimes you're in that headspace when you're writing, and like sometimes you're not, and you might write a less confident song. But
yeah.
I do think my songwriting is like innately quite sassy. Like that's just how I
Yeah,
write about stuff, but like in a bit of a cheeky or kind of, yeah, like sassy way.
yeah,
Um, because I feel like that's always a really interesting dynamic and makes for some really like fun writing. Um, so yeah, I like that the confidence kind of comes through, but by no means do I wake up and feel confident every single day.
Yeah, yeah, but you just gotta, if you can channel it through your songwriting, then that's a really good outlet to let it all out. You're talking about your kind of headspace of songwriting. What do you think is the best headspace for you to make music?
I think being comfortable with who you're with in the studio is a massive thing, and something that I didn't really have like in the first year or two of making music, because I was constantly in new sessions with new producers. I would literally say yes to anybody that asked me, oh yeah, like you can come down today and we'll like write something. um so it was great because I worked with a bunch of different people, but it was always meeting someone for the first time and then suddenly being like, oh my god, I've got to now write a really honest song with this stranger.
Mm.
But now that I have collaborators that I work with consistently, I have that level of comfort where I can try new things, and I can try and sing things that like I might hit a bum note or I might like mess it up, but it doesn't matter because I'm comfortable. And I think when you're on the edge of your comfort zone is actually where you do the best work.
Yeah,
So I think feeling comfortable is for me like the best headspace to be in. But also like I need to be feeling real emotions. I struggle to just kind of write about a kind of random situation that I can't relate to. I kind of have to really get into the mindset of what I want to say with that song, and it's quite methodical, I think, songwriting really.
yeah, definitely. Um, what are you most looking forward to coming up in next year?
There is a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I've got a music video coming out next week, an EP coming out in December, which will be like a culmination of all the songs that I've been putting out this year, and then a headline show at the start of next year. So I really feel like I'm gonna mark all the hard work of this year with these kind of big like
Yeah,
milestones. I
yeah.
want to celebrate it and celebrate the songs and play them live, which I think is where they really like come to life. So I
Mhm.
can't wait to get in rehearsals with my band and just make that a really, really special evening, hopefully for everyone else, but for me as well.
Yeah, just really get everything on the roll. Your newest song, Only for the Night, how did that come about? What was the story behind that?
I was in the studio with Mitch Jones, who's somebody that I've collaborated with a lot, and it was actually one of our first sessions. I think it might be in the second session we did together. Um, and I'd been in a situation where somebody's actions were just miles away from their words, and I just kind of wanted to write about that. I suppose that was like playing on my mind, and the idea of deceit and kind of what somebody, they might be feeding you lies to kind of get something out of you,
Mhm.
um, but it's not authentic. And it literally started, I think he played that kind of woodblocky sample, and it was quite like a stompy rhythm, and it felt quite moody and angry. And honestly, the chorus came really quickly, and I think as soon as we wrote it, we were like, it was in our heads the next day, and we were like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a good one. But
Mhm.
we've been sitting on it for ages, so like I'm really happy that finally it's out, because yeah, it's just been like on a private SoundCloud link for the longest time, and now I'm really happy that everyone gets to hear it. And the video will, I think, bring the concept and the story to life even more.
Yeah, definitely. When you're choosing singles to release, do you have a way of ordering it or a kind of process that you think like this one is more this than this one, or do you just kind of go with the flow,
Hmm.
whatever feels right? How is it for you?
Um, Sometimes I might like think about the seasons. For example, Up to Me felt quite summery and quite bouncy and vibrant, and I really wanted to get that out like in August, September, so that it was out for summer and kind of those nice like warm September days, just like sitting in the park. And then Only for the Night feels quite wintry and quite moody. So I do often think about it like that, but there's a lot of admin stuff that also determines when you can release music.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, but
definitely.
I just try to kind of keep a variety of music coming out and keep surprising people, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, So I think then the EP, the kind of lead track from the EP, is going to be like another side of me that people haven't seen, which is really exciting.
That is really exciting. I was gonna ask you what can we look forward to and look if you have a project, but you've already answered my question. Um, so you're gonna release an EP in December,
December 2nd of December. Haven't announced anywhere
really
yet,
soon.
but really, really soon. Yeah. Um, so I'm really excited, and that's going to be 2 tracks that nobody's had before, and then all of the singles of this year so far.
Amazing. And then yeah, you have so much to look forward to. I feel like such an exciting time to be a new artist. So
Definitely.
that pretty much wraps up all my questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking with me today. You're also, I saw that you're performing next Thursday at
I
Cafe
am
Coco.
next Thursday at Cafe Coco in Camden,
Yes,
so I'm looking forward to that.
that's
Come
gonna
down
be
if you're
exciting.
around.
Yeah, that's gonna be really exciting. Well, good luck. I know it's gonna be
Thank you so
amazing.
much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much.